So, hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So, today is day 6 of our 20 days of the statistics course, and I hope you are liking this series as much as I am making effort in making this series. So, those who are new to this channel, kindly make sure that you subscribe to this channel for the latest tech updates and the tech knowledge. So, let's start our day 6 without any delay. So, let's break this down step by step so you have, a very clarity with examples. So the first thing we're gonna study in our quiz is about the sample space and the events. Let's first study about the sample spaces, like what sample spaces are. So sample spaces are nothing but a set of all possible outcomes of an experiment. So let me write that for you guys. So it is nothing but the set of all possible outcomes of an experiment. And let me give you an example for that. Okay, so suppose you tossed a coin. So what do you get? You get heads and the tails on tossing a coin. And when you roll a dice, what do you get? You get like 1 2 3, either 4 or 5 or either 6. So these all our like for the coin the sample spaces is heads and the tails, and for a dice we have 6 sample spaces, that is 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. So let's talk about our second topic, that is about the events. So what are events basically? Let's know together. So events are basically a subset of the sample space. Okay, these are nothing but the subset of the sample space. So, for example, let's take an example. Okay, so you roll an even number. Okay, so what are the even numbers? You have an even number in the dice as 2, 4, and 6. Okay, so these are the sample out of the 6 numbers which you roll in a dice, right? These are few of the samples only. Okay, so these are known as the events in the probability. Okay, now let's talk about joint probability also. Let's see what the joint probability is. Okay, so the next is the joint probability. Talking about the joint probability, so joint probability is nothing but the probability of two events happening together. It is nothing but the probability of two events happening together. Okay, for example, let's take an example. Okay, so if you have like events A and event B, so what would be these are the two events. Okay, these are the two events. So what would be your joint probability? So your joint probability would be P, probability of A union B, is equals to P, A and B. So this is your joint probability of the two events, that is A and B. For example, tossing two coins. You toss two coins, okay, and your sample space is what you can get on tossing a coin. Either you get a heads, either you got a heads and tails, either you got a tail and head, and either you got a tail and tail. So for the first coin, it is A. For event A, okay, the first coin is head. So you can get either head or head tail. Okay, and for event B, the second coin is also head. So either you can get a head or a tail head. Okay, so what would be the joint probability of A and B? So the joint probability of A and B will be probability of heads, because these are common in the both, which will be equal to 1 by 4, because we have only one out of 4. 1 2 3 and 4, we have only one, that is 1 out of 4, which is the total number. So the joint probability of A and B would be a head because this is the two common. So this was all about the joint probability. Now let's talk about another probability, which is the conditional probability. Okay, conditional probability. Talking about the conditional probability by the definition, so probability of event A given that event B has already occurred. So conditional probability is nothing, as the name suggests, conditional, so it has a condition. Okay, so conditional probability is nothing but a probability of event A given that event B has already occurred. Okay, and by the formula, if I would say, it would be like PAB is equals to PAB divided by probability of B. Okay, so this is also very important in the form of the like model training and all. You will be learning this in detail in the further classes. Okay, for example, from the two coin toss, event A, that is the first coin is head, as I told you in this. Okay, and event B, the second coin is head. So what would be the conditional probability? So we already found out that the joint probability of A and B would be 1 by 4. So we already found out that the probability of B would be 1 by 2. Okay, because we have two cases in the event B. So the conditional probability would be, so the conditional probability would be 1 by 4, which we took from here, divided by probability of B, which is 1 by 2, which will be equal to 1 by 2. It would cancel. Okay, so meaning that if the second coin is head, the chance that the first coin is also head is just 50%. So let's talk about what key insights we have gained today. We gained today about the joint probability. That joint probability looks at overlap. Okay, so let me summarize this for you. So in summary, I must say that the first thing is that the joint probability overlaps. Okay, and the conditional probability zooms in one event under the condition that already has happened. Okay, now the second one is that conditional probability zooms in one event under the condition that has already happened. Okay, so they are connected like you can also say that they are connected in such a way that P A union B is equals to P A B divided into probability of B. So this gives you a solid foundation about the probability basics with the clear examples. So this will all for this video. If you like the content, just like this video, subscribe my channel, and do not forget to hype my video. See you in the next video of the 20 days of statistics. Till then, bye bye.